Your plan's gone. Still, all about it's all about what's that thing that we use?
Improvisationism.
You gotta improvise now.
You gotta get more theatrical here.
Yeah, and look at that improvisation by Aurora banning out the Edith, the similar thing that they did in game number 2. And this is actually the same banning pattern that we see from Aurora from game number 2 with the Low Yi, Fanny, Edith ban. And it's a similar banning pattern as well from Fnatic Onyx Philippines with the Chip Matilda Juice.
I just really love that at least Aurora is sticking with the Low Yi permaban on their side.
Yeah.
I said this last night, I completely have to reinforce it. Keep that Low Yi at bay.
Yeah, especially for Super Friends. And so far, Super Friends has been using 2 heroes. I believe it's Valentina and the Evil. What did Super Friends use for game number 3? It was
the Valentina.
Valentina, yeah. So still saying sticking. And now Doming, his most winningest gold laner, has been selected for the side of Aurora. Again, if you didn't catch game number 3, one of the crucial things that Aurora did for that game win was the Wind of Nature play that Doming did in order to stop King Kong from wreaking havoc from that game.
I like this high loss pickup by Aurora, knowing that they're going to be playing into the Salmon Force of the Harith instead of having to face off against a combo of a high loss Gatot and then a Harith. They went ahead and take one of those pieces away. At the same time, sort of like cancels out what the Salmon Force can do. So Fnatic Onyx Philippines, knowing that they're going to be fighting under ultimates, again, it's the Super Friends of Eve.
I personally love it.
I'm gonna stand with that. The Super Friends of Eve.
The
undefeated.
Super Friends of Eve. You know what? This is a great pick. Not just because he played it to perfection in the past 2 games, but also because it cancels out the high loss completely. Now, I mean, if they want to go for an engagement, they better be ready to pay the price.
Yeah, especially if ever Fnatic Onyx does perform well in the early game and forces out the glorious pathway to be used defensively. The real world manipulation will be coming in handy for Fnatic.
I think Fnatic Onyx Philippines needs to respect the Zask here. If it's not going to be a Valentina pickup by Aurora, it could be a Zask. The Zask high loss will mess up the formation around Fnatic Onyx Philippines and their Starfield off the Eve. So that would be great. I would still understand if they pick up a Valentina so that they can take away the real world manipulation. And hey, that's not me!
Oh!
That's my cousin! No,
It looks like you!
What do you mean it?
I mean,
he looks like you!
I mean, the cover, you know, the hat.
Yeah.
The hat looks like you, bro.
Oh, the hat looks like me.
Yeah.
Alright. No, but that's one of my idols. That's Fuego.
Hi, Fuego.
Hogan, Elgin are some of my favorite MLBB creators, by the way.
Yeah. That's right. They're on site.
Live in the streaming
Hopefully
area.
they're doing a vertical stream.
Yeah.
I am getting our vertical streams on TikTok ready.
Okay, so last ban for Aurora. A while ago they did go target for King Kong here. So right now, what else do you target for King Kong? I mean, you have the Fanny gone. You took away the Soyo. What's left? The Julian, the Hayabusa.
Funny thing is, the Hayabusa will struggle against this lineup of Aurora, or it looks like it would. We still don't see the rumor for Brusco.
Chonky.
It's chunky, yeah. I think they could actually take out the... They usually put the Gacha on the roam. They might consider taking out the Cho or the Tig from Brusco.
Tigreal.
Still respectable in this scenario.
Yeah! You called it. And this lineup is really chunky for a reason. Not just because of the high loss, but also because Suyo, you forget, in Immortal form, gets 20% damage reduction.
Yeah.
So the Hayabusa is basically tickling him.
Zask, Valentina, perfect right now.
Alpha's great.
For the EXP lane, I think this is actually an EXP lane. Oh no, we don't see the EXP lane matchup just yet. That's a problem.
Yeah.
They can still default and go to Rizla for the chonks.
For the chonks?
Yeah, for the chonks, bro.
You gotta go chonky, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you're already up against an alpha.
Focus is still open though. For Aurora.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That is great,
and
actually.
That turns off the Cho pickup for Brusco, or that would actually make the Cho pickup much more difficult. Maybe Arlot's there.
Arlot's fine. Alright.
Retribution is at hand.
Still a valid. Okay.
It's the purple lineup. Hylos just didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
He didn't get dyed up. Look at that. Very powerful lineup here for Aurora. Lots of
I'm
effort.
not the only one bound by these chains.
Here's the Phobius.
That was a purple guy we were looking for. It didn't appear here. But then again, Fnatic Onyx says, you know what, this guy's good. We're gonna use him.
What an adjustment by FNOP, man, to pick up the Phobius that was eventually left open. Again, folks, Arlot, in 5 games this season is winless against Phovius.
Straight?
Yep.
Really?
Arlott has never won against Phovius this season.
This season, including... Oh, okay.
I mean, it's just mechanics. They just counter. It just counters, right? It's a counter. Straight up. So I wonder what they're going to do about it, especially for FNOP, who are really mechanically gifted as well. My goodness. All right, this is going to be a banger here. Throw it over to our casters, Leo and Naisu, to give us the action on the field.
Many gratitude, gentlemen. Nice one, Leo, at your service. Calling about game number 4. Something dawned on me.
Welcome to Mobile Legends!
For a majority of Fnatic Onyx, this is their first best of 7 in their career. Oh yeah! Consider that. And that loss in game 3, which looked like a win in, you know, a portion of it, suddenly they have to deal with that reset.
I feel like that was, I don't know, in a way, like, it's a good check for them, like a reality check throughout this series of best of 7, because, like you mentioned, this is also a mental test, you know, for the lineup. I mean, on both sides, too. I know there's obviously some experience over here for ARORA individually, but essentially that's what a best of 7 is. I mean, we saw a glimpse of this yesterday in our first best of 7 for the lower final. That's right. And you can really see how things adjust where you're in that first half of the series, and now, you know, as you start to get towards these later games, you're going to see that adjust. But I love what Renmar has pointed out about that matchup alone between the Phovius and the Arlott.
That's right. We'll see it now. For a couple of times in this playoffs, it was alluded to, but eventually it would have switched out. But here, for sure, it's Edward versus Kirk!
They're going to go for this again. Revitalize might not be enough.
No.
And Renegade will go down in that first blood, going to the hands already here for Brusco.
A Hylos may be stout, a Hylos may be durable, but not against 3. Not early in the game, not under 2 minutes. And that should open up this turtle for Fnatic Onyx, putting them about a 500, 600 gold here before the turtle spawns. But you also got to consider, this is Asuyo. So again, the whole Sever plus Retribution combo,
yeah,
you gotta consider that.
Yeah, it's deadly. You know what? And I'm just gonna throw this out there too. They want to play the fact that they just want to go in mid. Actually, Infernal Pursuit gonna be dropped down. Queller fired off as well, but Renegade falls for the second time at the 2-minute mark here. Now this is the clear sign for FNOP to take this turtle here, unless Edward tries to do something. Gonna take a couple shots once again. Kirk dunking on him, but ultimately securing this first turtle of the game.
Amazing how this 4-man rotation from Fnatic Onyx Philippines are able to just control this northern half of the map, the upper quarter, and that will allow for them to, I don't know, orange Uber their way into an early game advantage. Because now look, they're sending all their dudes down to the bottom. It's Doming's turn for a little bit of attention. Let's talk about that matchup right now. Doming versus Kelra, the Moscow versus the Harith. This is a matchup that was actually switcheroo, right?
Yeah.
It was the Harith on Doming more often, and then Kelra rocking that Moskov. That's got to be trippy. That's got to be a tempo swing for sure for Fnatic Onyx.
Yeah, and I think it's funny how this series alone, it's been. Oh, hold on, Kurt jumping in once again. Infernal Pursuit, but yeah. So going back to it, I think, you know, the gold laners themselves, man, here, Leo, have been really, in a way, like low-key, where they've dealt with a lot of pressure because of the way the junglers on both teams play, but then they also shine when they're supposed to, which is that mid to late game when we've seen these games get to that point. And I would honestly say that Doming and Kello both have had great games when they finally get there. I mean, think about, hold on again, where's Pathway? This is just going to cut him off.
It's an ult for an ult.
Think about what Doming did last game, how he adjusted after getting constantly killed from King Kong solo.
On that same hero,
yeah,
on that Moskov, and he's taking that same momentum, that same experience and wisdom from that tempo break against Fnatic Onyx, from that first game they scored in the series, and they should be off to a good start. But so far, Fnatic Onyx are choking down on every single lane they have their eyes on. Again, for the first 2 minutes, it was top. Now it's down bottom, and Renegade is forced to play babysitter.
Yeah, you kind of have to at this point. just with the way that FNOP's moving around the map, you don't want, again, the same course of action for Domeng in the early game. You want to have him have a better time, I would say, farming up, getting to where he needs to be. Second turtle is up here, though. They'll go ahead and start this one up.
Fnatic scored the last one. Renegade dropping the course pathway into the back.
Already dropped down, still going for it. Spear Destruction gonna land Renegade there amidst it all. Still, the turtle, though, goes in the hands of King Kong. Renegade falls again, and now looking for more here in the mid lane. UA will slide on through and get out. Good push, though, up top from Domeng to get some extra gold.
All of the energy shields are popped and just in time, too. That's going to allow Aurora to keep that gold lead down despite losing out on both turtles. Edward!
Whoa, that is a whole lot of damage. Good thing he had to burn the flicker. I mean, one hit, he would have been gone.
Mr. Consistent, ever vigilant, keeping himself alive but barely. That does allow for Domeng to push in. I think that's why Edward was just really throwing himself and just saying, no, look at me, I'm
Psych.
here.
It's all part of the plan.
Psych, my boys pushed up top. So that is the first turret casualty for Aurora, which should open up the map, giving Domeng the green light to switch up down bottom, but too little too late. Already traded for by Fnatic Onyx. Up
Here's
top
the
though.
answer, though. They're going to put some pressure on Renegade. Glorious Pathway drop down again, but they want King Kong this time! And UA will be the one to get that. Demon Kite wants to get that orange buff. Doesn't get it. Kelro will clean it up. Kirk, Super Prince now on the counter play. There's the jump in from Brusco as well. Looking for more. Edward, the first to fall. UA going to be the next target. Has to flicker out. And it's FNOP looking to fight back, punch back on this side of the map. UA jumping down the RWM. Gets taken down under the turret with Kirk. An infernal pursuit between Tier 1 and Tier 2.
And this hole started in the Tier 2 up top for Fnatic Onyx, and they ran down Aurora. By hook or by crook, they were going to get something out of that exchange, and it eventually converted into a turret down mid. Final turtle spawning. Lower quarter, Domeng's in trouble.
Domeng, how are you going to get out of
No.
this? Kelrup firing off. Brusco, oh, he goes over! Great use of the flicker to dodge the unbreakable taunt.
And the dash. He layered both. Amazing work
That's
by
distance.
the next standard. He straight up changed his zip code. Hand this man a new passport. Oh, SOD.
No, he doesn't take that.
Not gonna happen.
Would have been amazing if somehow that spear also got the turtle. Talk about a moment.
Was along the way, but Kesara, Aurora happy with the exchange, happy with keeping Domeng alive, and keeping this gold lead to a manageable 2,000, 3,000 AOG.
Gonna jump in once again. Renegade, the target, using the revitalize. The glorious pathway won't be enough. Man, Renegade's having a hard time on this Hylos pick. He's just, I mean, most of the glorious pathways have been all defensive.
That is an understatement. His Hylos suffered a first blood death. He's been putting up glorious pathways to eventually just still die anyways.
It's not very glorious.
It's not very glorious, and in front of his dad too. Mr. Bakase is here supporting his son, and I'm pretty sure he understands that his son is doing his best, but Renegade, he said in an interview, I'm gonna give it my all. In that grand finals tomorrow, I'm gonna give it my all. And if by giving his all, he has to die along the way, then so be it. I'd rather see Renegade at 0-4 than Domeng at 0-4 too.
Final slash gonna be used. Demon Kite there to try to help them out, turn this tide around. UA still holding on to the RWM, and it looks like they'll just back off. Not a fight that they want to take here. They know they're outgunned from Fnatic Onyx Philippines.
That's what that 4,000 gold lead gets you. And now, Keller's having his way with these turrets. Top lane Tier 2 down. And that's the long lane completely managed by Fnatic Onyx. Bore down on. Look at this gold lead on the XP lane. Kirk up by about 1,500. That's huge.
It's a massive game.
How many stacks on that Thunderbelt?
Does this not pay true to the stat that Renmar's talking about?
You just can't win.
The R-Lot is winless against the Phoveus. The stats don't lie, and now the gold lead is showing just how much use and value a Phoveus can bring to this game, especially with a lead like that.
Almost half of the gold lead is on Kirk alone. And he's a frontliner. He's a peeler. for Fnatic Onyx Philippines, and that's going to allow them to bully Renegade out of position. Demon Kite struggling to score anything major here in this 10-minute game. Lord spawning here, lower quarter, it's a shuffle.
Shuffle once again. Still going to keep it together here. Super Prince looking for his positioning. Demon Kite just firing off the Queller. Waiting for his moment. Spear Destruction going to come in. There's the glorious pathway of aggression. Kelra goes in. They're caught in a bad position as Domain goes down. Once again, Kirk dunking on him. Renegade falls. Edward on the run. And with 2 members down of Aurora, this is a clear sign for the Lord.
It's a 3 for 4, and they're not taking that exchange. 3 members for Aurora, 4 for Onyx. Just the sheer numbers don't add up, and that's what's going to allow Fnatic Onyx to take this clean. And look at Demon Kite, just taking what he can on the map, trading up for that orange. King Kong, a step ahead, does the same.
I'm wondering, Leo, if maybe with this game, maybe the way that we saw King Kong do this back in game 2, maybe Demon Kite can play the map. Maybe work enough around the map to try to keep them in the game here for Aurora. But I think part of that is, again, do you let Domeng push those side lanes? Do you let Demon Kite do it?
Here's the thing. You want both of them to get some level of farm. You want both of them to somehow affect the map. But you can't do 4 in 1. So you have a paradox. You have a little pickle, if you will.
Yeah.
So I would suggest you keep Domeng with the group. Let King Kong go hunt for Demon Kite, much like this, because Demon Kite can actually
Go
duo.
1-on-1?
Yeah,
Well, they're going to duo
no,
here.
not like
Spear down,
this.
that's too much! I guess DK can't go 1v1.
I mean, he thought, and he learned the hard way, stepped into the lair of the beast, and found himself belly up.
Oh, this is trouble, because right now the focus here, the base of Aurora, without Demon Kite, they'll clear out the Lord. The jump's coming through from Brusco. The setup from Super Prince with the RWM and the response from UA as well. Brusco finally going down. That might be what they look for again. King Kong taking a couple shots, working on that tier 2 in the mid. Right now, that's all they get. Looking to pop the Holy Shields. They do on the top and the mid. Lorkin on this bottom side. FNOP, though, getting what they can off that first Lord.
This gold lead is going to get out of hand. No more outer turrets for Aurora. So from about 5,000 expected in the next minute to go up to 6. Next Lord spawning here, lower quarter, same spot. 70 seconds. Okay, change of plans. Maybe it's got to be Doming.
Maybe it's Doming.
Maybe you let Demon Kite kind of roam around with the group and then have Doming not exactly cross the river and just farm up.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, wow, Renegade's been a punching bag. You know, this is another way to say the hitman right here. He's taking the damage.
He's getting hit, man.
He's getting hit.
It's what he needs to do. And the fact that he's stopped at 0 and 5 means he's kind of put it under control. I mean, at the cost of their turrets.
Yeah.
But as the minutes pass by, all the more the reality of a comeback can happen. Yue, Demon Kite holding this bush, spotted by Brusco.
Brusco taking a couple shots with that Soul Sever too, and you know, they're doing what you just mentioned. You know, let Domeng push some of those side lanes if he can, but still he has to take a foot of caution when he does it because of the fact that there's the initiation even from Brusco to cut him off.
That's right, and there's an AOG. So Fnatic Onyx, they're like an octopus right now. You know that an octopus is distracted because it's playing with this little Rubik's Cube over here.
So we evolve from Sonics. Oh, hold on, Kirk still gonna be going. Kirk in trouble. They're clapping down Brusco in front of it all. Renegade cutting him off with the glorious pathway, and that's a defensive jump with the Avatar of the Guardian. Keeping them together. They're gonna reset. Could it be? Lord still worked on here. Is this a moment for Aurora to secure an objective?
Well, no more key ults for Aurora. And Renegade's very low.
Renegade in trouble. He was actually committing to it, and they're going to fight it out. Kelra wants to go. He's working on Edward. He'll get a double kill.
Yue.
And that was all, once again, started from Aurora when maybe they didn't have to do that, because now the Lord goes in the hands of Fnatic Onyx.
They had no ults. Fnatic Onyx technically were just down on TKOs, but they were chunky enough to force fights. And the fact that Kelra never left the scene, that changes the landscape, the face of this fight, and now Fnatic Onyx inside the base.
They're already inside the base. A jump through UA, trying to buy some time, keep turret alive. UA goes down, they hold on to that base turret. They still have to worry about this Lord push though. So maybe that bought them a few minutes here, or a minute at best, but they're gonna have to get ready. They're gonna have to buckle in for this massive push from FNOP with a massive lead on top of it.
They got to hunker down. And I got some bad news for all the Auroras watching all around the world. Aurora has a less than ideal clearing lineup. Their wave clear is on the lower scale. They only have UA. UA is the only one who can really clear these waves quick. Maybe Demon Kite if you consider it, but all of them have to kind of punch these waves manually.
Yeah.
The old-fashioned way.
And they might even have to use like a final slash in a certain situation to help clear them or manage them the way they
That
want
too.
against this Lord push.
That too. Very important. So you gotta consider, do I use the ult for the fight to deter a push, or do I use it against the wave? Lord knocking on top lane. In comes Brusco.
Jump in from Brusco into the final slash. Double reward. Middle blaze drop down, and Edward already gone out of the picture. Renegade gonna be next. Kelra gets a double again. Looking for the triple on UA. Goes in. Kirk cleans it up. Triple for Kelra, and Domeng tries his best, but it's not gonna be enough. As he goes down, it's a wipeout. Fnatic Onyx Philippines clears up, cleans up the game, and gets to match point.
All five get flatlined as they witness their base get broken down. 3-1. 3-1. Fnatic Onyx just one game away from taking home the title.
Again, it looks like this team, Fnatic Onyx Philippines, doesn't have many weak points. They're able to go ahead and just synergize so well from early to late game, and that's what's dealing, what Aurora has to deal with here as they get ready for another game.
They're a freak of nature. Let's hear from analysts at the Infinix Game Tambayan, talking about Game 4.
You know what? Sonics do feel like they do have it all covered. Very unlike